so much of time bothering about things which are not worth it. And now I realized all those things. So uh, that feels good. So much of time for you with your trip, but I yes, that was. It looked like it. Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, I reached that place very early, earlier than my place is, very far from my office. So if suppose I start at 8:15, I'll reach in say 45 minutes. And if it is 8:20, then it will take 2 hours to reach. So I had to start early, and I reached early, and I was the only person in that room for say 1.5 hours before anybody arrived. So I was, and somebody, one student of mine called. She has been married, and she has a son now, and she had been laid off. So lot of things going on. But I have connected her to another group mate, like the group that I am in. I connected her there because she is a recruiting person. So that while she has a young son now, young kid. So for 1.5 years now, she cannot go to work. But remote work she can do. Work from home she can do. So I connected her with her. So both of them are working out something. So right. But she was not able to understand what my this group mate girl was teaching. For example, she was not very sure uh, why this LinkedIn thing she has to teach. She said, no follower is going up. I said, I also don't get followers like that. But whenever I speak to anybody, that person has read some piece of mine, sometimes or other. They have formed an opinion based on whatever I have written, although they don't remember what exactly I have written. So that is that is a perception, and this world is like human beings are not on survival anymore. They don't have to do save their life anymore, but they are fighting against the perception game, and nobody knows what perception the other person is forming about us, like each of us. And so this is the game that is on now, more so in case of employment. And the other person, they haven't read, they don't read the CV of the person they are hiring. They don't understand. And how they are going to read your article or post, whatever you are posting in LinkedIn. They are not going to read. But it gives a perception that you have written so many, like say you have been writing for say last month or so. That gives a great perception about you, that you are very methodical, you are very systematic, you are knowledgeable, all this. Although might be possible that there is nothing in that article. Like suppose I feel like that when I post every day in LinkedIn. You know that. You know that I have told you. So I post every day, and what do I think about my articles? Because because those articles are very far from what I am thinking. And why I have that tendency, I don't know. But that when I'm thinking about something, I have a tendency not to write that same thing. So Yesterday, I was somehow it came to me. So I'm also recording a YouTube video on the subject that I'm writing on LinkedIn. So one one subject, and it will have different shape in terms of article. Somewhere it will be like say a reel, somewhere it will be a full YouTube video, like that, and two articles it will be. So the same thing. And think of this. I don't I don't remember what subject is this. Whatever subject, I am not there. It is happening just like that. And sometimes when I write, say, I start with one thought here, and suddenly I'll find myself at another thought which is far away, not connected with this. So, so then how the reader is going to connect with whatever I'm writing? So they will be puzzled as to what I'm writing. And also, most of the time, the higher level of realization happens not in a straight line. It happens always in a roundabout way. Yes. So for somebody, it will happen that way. I don't know what way, but it will happen that way. So, and I think that has happened in their way to them. I don't know who. so so I told her that, and immediately I don't know what I was telling her that, and then immediately she uh, said, I yes, I get it, uh, because she is the very high performing girl, employee in her company, achieving highest target. She has been awarded twice, and then she laid off. So, you know, so what kind of logic is going on in the mind of that HR person who would have listed her name to be laid off? Yeah. It is definitely not logical. It is not on merit. It has something to do with her perception of this girl. She might have seen her as headstrong, because I have been kind of advising her since say since the time of COVID, and and now I connected with another lady because she was not open to very disciplined way of getting trained on her attitude. See, if you don't know her very deeply, then she would appear to be a very headstrong kind of personality. She has a point all the time, but she doesn't have the proper expression. So that might have created the friction for her. So, and it has happened time and again for her. So, and she was not able to get that point when I was directly telling. So I connected with this girl so that she gets like lot of puzzle in that space, and then she realized that it is never straight line. It has to be that way. She doesn't understand anything, and yet something is happening. So yeah. So I was speaking to that girl while I took that picture that you saw. Okay. So, and then yeah. uh, so that time you were right that I was not very happy. I was this thing, but at the end of that day, I realized this thing that I'll be myself this way only, no matter what. And like, even though people will be promoted, they will be made the chief of something, something, but still they will have problems only I can solve. So, mm, so that came that day, and that was later that day. So I didn't have a picture of that time when I realized this. No, no, it was the beginning of the day. Yeah. End of the day, I was pretty happy because this realization had come in between. And yeah, yeah. And then today something happened, there was some analysis I did, which, and it was about 10 days back, I did that analysis. And the um, numbers were far, like it was not tallying with the actual number, you know. So, so the vertical head who doesn't have much idea about numbers, but when somebody else pointed out that in our published book, no, we get a book published annually and about with all this data and insights. That book, actually, my numbers were not tallying with it, far lower. Then that fellow told me that you should be very attentive while doing the analysis. So I was the maximum. I also knew that I was being disturbed because this fellow doesn't know that while working with numbers, one should not be disturbed. But he always disturbs. So might be something would have happened. And that was some time back. Some analysis I did 6 months back, he is using today. So after that, I did so many analysis. How do I remember which one he was referring to? So, so then I was getting confused about which one. Like he keeps on asking on some analysis, and then he doesn't do anything about it. So I spend a lot of time, and then he doesn't use it, and I know that he will do that. So I don't even remember. So today again he wanted this same thing. Why should that be happening? Like a lot of discrepancy. Then I check with the numbers again. Same thing. It is again that only. So the my another colleague of mine who actually checked that numbers, he checked from that book and he checked from this database, and he saw that this database has this number only 47,000 something, but the book number is 81,000. So it is almost half. And how that is possible? So I asked how that is possible also. And the person who does this, compiles all this data and all, that person only gave me all this database. So how can I no doubt any whether this data is appropriate or not? So then we found out that he gave me some data which was still being checked, and he didn't tell me. So that means I had some numbers which are not exact, not appropriate. And then what happens? What happens to the book? Like the database says 47,000, and the book that we have published is 81,000. So obviously the data is manipulated, right? And because the book is already published and circulated, that number cannot be changed. So again, this number will be manipulated again. And manipulating some number means you are telling one lie, means you have to tell so 1,000 lies again. So you have to check everywhere. Yeah, and then if you check this data further, further granular data, then further you will discover all this manipulation, because nothing will then match with another thing. So I told him that this no, this these are numbers, sometimes rupees. Why rupees? Because this is microfinance, right? So we compile data of, say, 200 plus institutions who are from 5 crores to 50,000 crores companies. And they give data proportionately like that. And like from there some insights is compiled, and this book is published. This is an annual book. Yeah. But when so it's so you're talking about money, not people, you're a population, you're talking money. So money, and how it is going to do the financial inclusion in the country, and then and how it is part of a business also. Various ratios also are calculated, and so one thing, if one thing goes wrong, there are other so many things will go wrong. So so it is already published. Nobody knows the exact situation, Sophie. How do you know now? So you never know what kind of data is this. Uh, 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 this passes off because nobody else has any data. Nobody else has compiled that data. So what? Suppose I am the only person compiling. Whatever I give you, you have to trust that, right? And then suppose and also he told me that in between the draft of that report and the final printing of that report, there are several stages in between that also. You know, so somebody will find something, then halfway through the printing, when the proofreading is happening, one table will be changed. One table change means so many other tables will be changed, and those tables will be changed manually in those reports, which means the data remains unaffected. Means the data is old, not properly updated. So sometimes we have a database which is far removed from the reality, and nobody knows what exactly is this. I have discovered this twice. I told him once, about say 7 8 years back, I had discovered that they say that there is a regulation from our central bank which says that these microfinance loans previously it was like should go to income generating activities, small income generating activities. The consumption loan, which are like spending on marriages, spending on education, spending on housing, health, all these were prohibited that time. But we did policy advocacy, and like these expenses also are accommodated. Now, uh, this this consumption loan, there are, you will be surprised to see how this consumption loans are happening. You know, I actually interviewed say 20 ladies who were rejected the loans. now they and because no people are getting educated. Say microfinance started in 1999, and they have taken several cycles of loan by now. Every loan gets paid maximum by the end of 2 years. So, and at simultaneously they can take as many loans they can service. So, some of the women they have taken as many as 33 loans. And that means what? If a person who is not that well off and taking 33 loans, which means what? She is not spending on any income generating activity. She is just taking money from one and giving to the other. Part of it. Partly she is using for herself. And since she knew that nobody will discover as to what she is doing with the money, and she has the comfort of having some cash at hand. You know, everybody needs that comfort. So she is having this comfort, and nobody knew. Suddenly, what happened was this lady would have how many? Suppose she has taken on an average 20,000. 33 into 20,000 means it's a huge debt. It appears to be a huge debt, not for her, but on book. So the central bank took notice of this, and they prohibited that nobody can be given like pushed to take loans. Nobody is pushing. Now the client is taking on their own, and they are using it for whatever purpose, like bribing the government officials to get a job. Uh, Part of it, they're building their houses, and very funny reasons where they have spent. All those are a requirement of life, I understand. But those are not for which they should have taken the loan. It is like when now the rule is they cannot take loan from more than three people, three companies. So suddenly, somebody who has taken 33 loans, she will not find any cash. Means she is into trouble now. But that has stopped from this over indebtedness to go down. Right? You know, there is this um, something in the book and reality are very different things. The life is such that there are so many requirements now, and they have to somehow arrange cash for it. And with inflation up and the systems going down, these people are having food inflation as well, which means they are not able to take quality food anymore. So they are because the opportunities are going down as well. So they have to cut down from the quality of food they are taking to service the loops. So the immediate solution would have be allow the cash flow, but that is a short-term solution. So it is a good initiative, but it has its own problem. So, so all these are scenarios which need to be reported to the central bank. So that is what we do, and in the process, all this data is collected and compiled and analyzed, somewhat analyzed, and made into a book. You cannot get very deep, no predictive analysis in this. But suppose you want to do some predictive analysis, then you will find all these kind of discrepancies. So, and Yeah, and then because that fellow is doing since 2005, and everybody kind of celebrating that book, it is an annual book. The fellow who has been doing since last 2005, now 20 years. So he has all the credentials, credibility. I don't have any. So it is easier to kind of no, blame me. So today I took it as a challenge, and I said, this data has to be perfect. Now, if I am totaling it, it is coming to 47,000. Now, whatever analysis I do, ultimately it will show 47,000. It will not show 81,000, no matter what. So, first of all, this total should be 81,000 for me to attempt any kind of analysis. So, first of all, fix this. So, that is when he could realize that uh, there is something wrong with that data. And for the first time, he acknowledged. So, he was like shocked to know that the, the holy book that we are producing every year is not so holy after all. And but when you are saying something like this, nobody, unless you prove, you give some proof. They are so I was blamed till 12 in the morning. So because you were, and he asked me, will you be a little attentive in analyzing this data, like giving me this table, this analysis? That is when I told him this doesn't add up to 81,000. It is still 47,000. So it will give you 47,000. Do something about it. Otherwise, I'm not going to do anything. Yeah. Yeah. So I told him this creates self doubt. You know, I thought I also didn't know. Just I checked whether I have taken the wrong data, wrong from the entire database, whether I have taken the wrong column to analyze. There are like say, how many columns are there? 200 plus columns are there, and those are not properly explained. Also, those columns. So it is very easy to get distracted with some description, and you take the wrong column, which means it will give wrong analysis. So I thought I was doing that. Then I checked, and again it is 47,000. I say I'm not doing any analysis of this. So the personal review is coming up, no? So he would have used this against me, saying that you are not attentive. So today I gave him that this is the second time I noticed something, but that time that fellow came and explained to you. So then I thought I should be silent. That now today, because it was coming to me, and somehow it occurred to me that I should first check and tell him rather than going ahead and doing the entire analysis and then again blamed. Like you put all your mind and brain and attention for the entire day, and then they blame you are not doing something. Yeah. 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 So yes. And then huh, personal review will be like there is we have uh, taken one app wherein all the goals, all the key areas are in like fed into it. We have done that, and then the milestones that we had achieved, that also is put, and the progress is indicated, which means the personal review with the help of the app, it is done. Now, if he has to, like the managers are to do something personal thing, then they have to sit down with us, like the employees, and say something if they want to. So it's not. Yes, lot of things to talk to me, but today I put that like this year, all my every year whatever I plan, it is achieved, but I have changed my roles have changed in all these years so many times. Sometimes I am in charge of this, sometimes I am in charge of that, I am doing something else. So so suppose at the end of the year they will evaluate me on something, then it is just 20 or 30%, right? The other thing is under somebody else. They are not evaluating me anymore. So it always goes. And so this year, what happened is like I have last 2 3 years, I have put everything, and I have put in I also have my explanation saying why that is not done. So that is pretty accurate. I don't put anything. Suppose it is 80%, it is 80%, and I don't put 100. So he knows. This year, though, there were very lot of things which just made I resolved into doing this and bringing to that stage. Yes. Still, in the review, like that day, the ED said that oh, for this Asia Pacific region, somebody else is required to take this to next level. So I was very angry. You are not telling me of the I had started this, and now you are saying somebody else is required to take this to next level. Do that. I was very angry. Then I said maybe they're meaning something good. I don't know why to get angry before unless this they explain. Yeah. And if they want to do it with somebody else, let them do. Yeah. So at this moment, what I hear you're saying is you're okay with the way everything has developed so far because you've done what you can do to make the powers that be aware. That is one. Yeah. And why I'm so very okay with it is like the thing that I want to do, the models that I have always spoken with you, like making a herbal wellness center and the 2 trillion business model, all those things are little by little they are taking shape. So yes, so that is kind of giving me lot of inspiration to deal with it. So when that is happening, this is a very small thing. And yeah. Yeah. So yes. Sophie, one thing I was thinking, like we already have discussed about this also, will it be possible to mobilize some fund with which we can start this herbal wellness center, and I will also create a business model. You also asked me that also, like who is benefiting how from this model. That one I'll do. Uh, will it be possible that way, because that way it will be quicker, and we shall be independent to take that up. To mobilize funds. Suppose there is some fund available somewhere, I don't know, uh, wherein we can, that will be used as the seed fund, and it will be mobilized, and the profits will be generated with which this can be paid back. Or suppose there is some CSR, like in India, any company who is 500 crore, they have to create, like say 2% of it, their profit goes towards a fund, welfare fund. So they call it as CSR fund. So like, so that will be like, say there is some, I know, because all our welfare fund from foreign, it comes because people are saving their taxes, you know. So they donate to some organization who then again channelize it to India or any other country into some welfare fund. So if that is something that we can do, then this herbal project will take shape immediately rather than waiting for years. Suppose we take a place, in a place where we can invite these people for a retreat, and we keep certain things for that retreat. Like one is like the reframing work that I'm learning right now, to reframe our self-talk, self-exploration. So that will be basically the basis of the 5-day workshop, but they also will be uh, in the midst of a very scenic place, very spiritual place, so that they feel the spirituality, the calmness within. So if we take that into it will not cost much. Like say, as per me, one person, if they pay 1 lakh, 1 lakh is how much? You divide by 100, that is the USD dollar. So it will be like say $10,000 per person they pay. Then the expenses is 80% of that, which means $8,000 per person. Uh, so if we invite say 25 people per batch, which means 8 into 25, which is how much? 2 lakh, 200,000, 8,000 into 25, which is $200,000. That is the seed money we have. And because we'll be paid upfront, like say one lakh, which means 10,000. So immediately that can be repaid. Suppose for keeping some working capital, then in 2-3 batches, say we can repay that back. Do, do you get? This is a rough estimate. I haven't taken everything because I was thinking that there will be a place where this herbal cultivation will happen, and then I will conduct these retreats. And I also will be building our own building so that we don't have to pay any rent. So, but people are doing these retreats now in hotels, no, in yeah. So Is it 10,000? Say 1 lakh. 1 lakh is how much? 100,000. 100,000 divided by 100 is how much? $1,000. Yes, yes, yes. So it becomes then 10, then it is not 200,000. It is how much? It becomes $20,000. So that is the seed money we can start with, and like with some like we don't have any experience of that, so that is why we are giving ourselves some time, say 1 year, within which to repay that back. And if it is some grant money, then we don't have to repay, but we can create a trust in which you, me, and the person who owns that land can be the trustee. And then the money will be there. Without the three of us signing, no money can be withdrawn. Then that, and more people can be added. Whoever is no putting money into that, those people can be added, and with that money, the interest money, we can arrange things, programs, and so the corpus remains intact and it increases. Yeah. So here there is grant money is there, but it is what, like it comes in the form of a project, right? Project is a developmental project. That is what I was thinking, that we will start with a development project, and few development project at one place can create this money, because I will be doing a business model with it, not in grant model. Suppose we get some money, I'll ensure that money multiplies. Um, then think over it so that I'll arrange to create a trust out here, so that whatever money you contribute straight goes to the trust, and yes, the work can be initiated from there. So it is always great to start on your own something, a small thing, and then have people who will need something to be created. There, those people are there. But you know, uh, when I'm not having anything of my own to start with, these people are hesitating. So that is creating the delay. Maybe ultimately that is what I'll be doing, and that is what I have to be okay with. But if there is any other possibility, no harm in exploring on that, right? So yeah. No, no, no. Uh, Actually, this business model I spoke to you for the first time. I have not spoken about it to anybody else. The roadmap that I was giving them, I am giving to those people, is these people are into this development activities who can take projects, because I was thinking of writing project. That is what I have been doing all my life. So that is how we'll go about it. The problem with this present government is it has lot of restrictions about the movement of money. It like no business is setting up their office in India right now. They either will have at Dubai or some other place. The registered office has to be outside India so that they can escape this documentation and this scrutiny. So, which means it is lot more difficult to get those projects to get started. Uh, so, so the organization that I have started working, they uh, they don't know that things can be built step by step. So if his team is ready by this time, then already we would have created some. But he is waiting for a project to be sanctioned so that things will move. So far, what he has been doing with his organization, they are into development sector, right? So uh, using that credentials, we could have done something, but he is thinking differently. Now there is no what no pilot or no initiative from me which I can show him to tell him that this is the way I am expecting you to also work. So he is thinking the typical NGO way is what I have operated that way. Like I have worked in NGOs, so he is thinking that that is the way to operate. So it is okay to be that way. He is not able to think that this is a business model and this can be worked out. So yeah. Yes, because I am taking over his chairperson, no, this organization's chairperson. So uh, he doesn't have to give any money from his own pocket. That is what I'm not asking him that. Actually, I'll be writing projects and I'll be executing projects. I'll help him execute projects, and thereby his organization will create money and then he will pay. And he has already given me the letter, and he has initiated process to induct me as an independent director. So that is an elaborate process. So he has already started doing that. So so he will not go back because he needs my services as well. He knows I we can do that because I have done that before also. So no. It trust in India doesn't require any money. So to start a trust, it doesn't require any money. It just has to be registered. So whatever expenses is required for registration, that is only the expenses. Now that because it is a not-for-profit entity, so whatever money comes in, it is not. It has to be consumed at the end of the financial year. So that can be shown as an expenses for some charitable work. So uh, that there are plenty of activities which can be done with this. Say suppose this herbal cultivation, even training the people. So if that is okay, then tomorrow I'll ask somebody to give me the process of registering a trust, or I'll find out now registering a trust. So um, we can register that trust. No, now it is many things are possible online also, or else whatever document, there is a lot of documentation required. So it will be my responsibility to register that trust with all that documents. Yes. So once we are done with this trust registration, then your thing is like initially it is to mobilize the money, which is easy because in US there are several avenues where this money is available, and they donate profusely to the church and other voluntary organizations this money. And so you only know better as to how and from where this money can be mobilized into this trust for this purpose. Because you mentioned about this Nigerian lady, no? She you had found out one some place where she only had to send these photos and that could have started. Just tell me about what documentation they will need, then I'll send it to you. The business model we can I can work out, and how it will be a sustainable model with whatever money they give, how it will sustain us forever. Yes. You can just WhatsApp me so that I remember, and I'll start developing that. And once you are convinced, you go and talk to anybody you want to, whoever is the potential, no, what you can say, donor, and accordingly, their requirement we can also, try to accommodate. Like I don't know what will be their interest in donating money, so we'll kind of accommodate that also. Eventually, eventually, I visualize that to happen. You know, but it necessary is not required. Suppose you have a base where from where, like it is not, it's not limited to India only. You can do the same retreats in US. You can take these retreats to elsewhere in the globe. That is the ultimate plan. But from where do you operate if you don't have a base point? That is the idea. So suppose it is this place, and it has to be only a training hall, big hall with smaller places where 25 people can be accommodated. So 12 rooms can be there, where people will come on twin sharing basis, and that is the idea. So yeah, huh. So that is something I am testing at Bandhavgarh in Madhya Pradesh, where I was trying, because there is a homestay built by the forest department. So I have asked the people that I work with to build a training hall so that we can do a retreat out there. Suppose we do the retreat out there and that will be our base point, then nothing like it all. We can we can mobilize simultaneous resources out there. So, but that is a very it's a hot place. So I wanted a cooler place, but it doesn't matter. You can start anywhere, like wherever the resources are available, we can start there, and nobody says that you have to be only here. You can go elsewhere. Like we are going elsewhere in the planet, so many places. So we can move any places. This can be our base. Uh, we just like uh, we just calculated no $20,000. So we can start with as like a small amount, and then we see how it, because I don't have the entire experience, I have to create that business model as to come at a certain point. Last time you told me, but I didn't calculate. Actually, the major thing in that time was the building. So if the building was consuming so much, then the retreat will not have any money left to happen, you know. So I stopped at that. But right now I'm open to that, and we can hire some place, or till the training center is built at Bandhavgarh. Otherwise, we yeah, yeah. So if we are doing at Murshidabad, the same place where the organization is, there is there are places available there as well, and so we can start with that, and once we kind of formalize the program as to how it is going to happen, then asking people to come to that retreat is not a big deal. Let us keep that goal. So when you have that goal, maybe we'll start with 5,000. So how does it matter? Let us start with that, because when people will come to that retreat, they will pay in any case. But we need to have something on our hand, no? So that is the idea. Yes. You tell me what name. I was calling that this as herbal wellness retreat. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Because it will be like in a place like we will not go to any place which doesn't have this herbal cultivation around. When people come there, they also will visit the area around, and this area in any place in India, if you go, some herbal will be available at that place, local to that place. So it is kind of connecting with nature is one part of the wellness, and reframing is like self-talk. Reframing it is another, and uh, going back to the organic way of life. That is, yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I have seen her twice, thrice. And after coming back, I had another session with the group, and it started late. I didn't know when I told you in 30 minutes. So I thought it will be over by 9. So that, but it started at 8:15, so it went on, and it was still, no, it would have gone still on, say, by another 45 minutes or so. I said, no, 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 I have to drop off. So they all dropped off. That's how. Otherwise, it would have gone on for another hour or so. Yeah. So, yes. Bye, Sophie. Yeah, yeah. Bye. self very day when I was exploring about the circular economy from effort to ecosystem value, unlocking ocean city impact. So, as you know, I have been discussing about ocean city and the waste management unit that I wanted to set up. Why I needed one ocean city, that is a mystery that came to me. I mean, ocean is a place where I needed to explore the additional area to live for the setting of habitat for human beings so that we don't encroach to the land of the animals. So value is not effort, value is what the system consistently delivers. So what is that? Whole question remains. Am I describing what I did or what changed? Because what I did, is the value sustainable beyond my direct effort? So all this thing came to my mind when I asked ChatGPT to give me, if I'm working with organizations as a circular economy advisor, what system can I create to make it effortless? Effortless is a bit of a trap word. No meaningful system is truly effortless. One needs to do some work. So I have to design the system. The value flows automatically and effort is only needed to steer, not to push. That is the real shift for a circular economy advisor. Now, the system you need to create is circular value operating system, which is CVOs. CVOs. A system where waste automatically becomes input, decisions automatically consider impact, value is continuously measured and visible. Don't run projects, install loops because circularity is not an initiative, it is a self reinforcing system. If that is so, let me see some videos which will be like self reinforcing systems. Can we see some of those? Uh, Let us see this, how to build self control. Self reinforcing, reinforcing. Time and again, I'm going to this circular economy thing. If you see, waste management thing. So let me focus on circular economy because that is what I am interested in. Let us see a small video.
Take stuff from the planet, we make things, we use them for a bit, and then we just throw them away. It's a straight line that leads to a dead end filled with trash and pollution. What if that one-way street eventually becomes it's not even there's smart way to do things? I mean, what if we did backwards? Just for a second, imagine that waste, the stuff we throw out, is inevitable. Imagine it's just a massive flaw in how we design things. That one idea, that's the key that unlocks a totally different way of thinking. Okay, so if we get to the solution, we have to really understand the problem. We need to get a handle on the system. It's the foundation of which everything we do. It has a pretty cool name. Materials take, make, dispose. It's just a straight line. And basically every single product is a trip to becoming rich. This is the two.
The awful thing about an economy is becoming linear. So if we put it as circular economy, it actually leverages the existing output as an input and builds from there.
Paths side by side perfectly. Over on the left, you've got our current setup, the linear economy, which is just, well, it's designed to end in pollution and us running out of stuff. But on the right, you see a completely different approach. It's one where things are built to last, materials get used over and over, and waste actually becomes something valuable. So, how do we get from that dead end street to a perfect circle? This next part is all about the big, game changing idea, closing the loop. And here it is, the main idea in a nutshell. It's an economic system that's literally built to get rid of waste and keep resources in the game as humans. The most important thing to do is that we start seeing the end of those things start seeing it as the beginning of a new cycle. Now, to make this happen, we can think about it with these five powerful actions. Believe me, this goes way beyond just your recycling. It starts with reduce. That's just using less stuff in the first place. Then you've got reuse, finding a new job for something instead of tossing it. Next up, repair. Actually fixing things when they break instead of just buying it. Of course, there's recycle, turning materials back into new things. And finally, this one's most exciting, regenerate. That's when we actively make the environment better, like helping restore soil and planting forests. Now, this isn't just some vague, hopeful idea. There's a real practical strategy behind it. It's a game plan, and it's built on three key principles. Let's check them out. So this is basically the blueprint. Principle one is all about thinking ahead, designing products so waste doesn't even have a chance to get created. Principle two is about getting the most value out of everything, keeping stuff useful for us business, while using and repairing it. And principle three, this is the most ambitious one. It's about actively making nature healthier, not just taking from it. Okay, theory is great, but what does this actually bring? Let's make this just take a look at this. It shows exactly how it works. A simulation. Getting rid of single-use plastics. Posting food scraps. It doesn't just eliminate trash, it creates lots of flowers in the garden. See, each little action creates lots of saves money and helps the environment. As we start to wrap this up, it's so this isn't just a fancy recycling program. This is just it's actively helping regenerate. So this question to you, just right here, right at your desk, kitchen, maybe in your car. What do you see that was designed to be thrown out? Just imagine for a second.
That seems to be a great thing. Let us see what we have in store.
ever had one of those days, or maybe one of those weeks, where you feel like you're working incredibly hard, actually making a real difference? Today, we're diving into a framework that's designed to flip that script. It's all about shifting your focus from pure effort to the ecosystem value you create. And this question right here gets to the absolute heart of the matter. It's a trap, and honestly, so many of us fall into it. We get caught up measuring our effort, the hours we log, the tasks we check off a list, instead of the actual value we create. It really is the classic difference between just being busy and being truly effective. So this brings us to what we can call the effort trap. And I bet you know exactly what this feels like. It's that sensation of running on a hamster wheel. You're putting in a ton of energy, you're spinning and spinning, but you're not actually moving forward. You're just stuck in this linear loop where the effort you put in doesn't seem to yield any meaningful results on the other side. Okay, so how do you get out of this trap? Well, it starts with something called a struggle audit. And the idea is actually pretty simple, but it is so powerful. You basically map out your current processes to find what are called waste points. Those are the exact places where your effort is just being drained away without creating any real value. So once you've actually identified where your effort is getting stuck, that's when the real work can begin. And just to be clear, this is not about working harder, not at all. It's about a fundamental shift in your mindset from thinking about what you did to what you changed. So the crucial point is this: we really have to reset our core belief. Value isn't just about hard work. Real value is what the entire system, your team, your organization, your community, delivers as a result of your work. It's an outcome, not just an input. And to put this new belief into practice, you can use this one super powerful question. Ask yourself constantly, am I just listing my tasks, or am I explaining the tangible difference that was made because of what I did? That simple switch in language forces a switch in perspective from just action to real outcome. And this new mindset allows you to start connecting the dots. Suddenly, you can make your value visible by mapping a direct line from your actions to the real measurable impact they have on the entire ecosystem around you. Here's what that looks like in practice. Let's say your action is designing a waste reuse program. That's great, but that's not the end goal. That action leads to an outcome. Resources are recirculated, and that outcome has a real world impact. Less waste goes into a landfill. You see that chain? Action leads to outcome, which leads to impact. And that impact can actually be quantified. I mean, imagine that waste reuse program leads to a 40% reduction in landfill waste. That isn't just a nice idea, it's a hard number that proves the value of the initial action. This is exactly how you make your contribution undeniable. So this is the question you need to be able to answer. If you can't connect your daily work to a measurable positive change, it's a really good sign that you might still be stuck in that effort trap, measuring activity instead of achievement. All right, now let's zoom out. Once you can map your own impact, the final step is to see how that impact fits into the bigger picture. And this framework uses a fantastic metaphor to help us do this. The ocean city. So instead of thinking like a linear factory, materials in, products out, and waste discarded, this framework asks us to imagine our work as part of a thriving, self-sustaining ocean city. In this city, nothing is wasted. Value is constantly being used, transformed, and recirculated to benefit the entire system. And Ocean City operates differently. It's focused on the valuable outputs that everyone needs. It learns from nature, which is, of course, the ultimate circular. And most importantly, it thinks about how its actions create benefits for everyone involved, not just a single bottom line. And this is where that value becomes tangible. By mapping out the benefits, you can start to see how a single project can create jobs for the community and cost savings for the economy. Value is a single those outputs to multiple stakeholders. So let's bring all of these ideas together: the struggle, the mindset shift, and that ocean city metaphor. It all really comes down to one final powerful question you can take with you. This is the ultimate question. Are you just completing a task and letting its value end there? Or is your effort feeding back into the system, creating new opportunities and helping the entire ecosystem thrive? That right there is the difference between simply doing work and creating lasting circular value. X-ray shows that jagged white line. The doctor just points at it and says, "There it is." The text says values, not F. Values the system consistent.
Basically, I want an effortless system and I'm searching for that system. Slowly, it will get built up. Today, I'm trying to give it was. And kind of linking my thoughts. It is not yet perfect, and so I don't have the perfect answer. But something is concretizing in my head. And today I took the first step to inspire Sophie to be part of the retreat. So, with that, the real collaboration has started. Let us hope for it and see how far we can go. Thank you for watching. Though it has been a little confusing, but that is what my mindset is. That is how I'm thinking right now. It is not clear, but it is actively searching for an answer, a roadmap.